Brazilian citizen Matthias Ferraro voted in 22 names in Haryana under the names ranging from Sweetie to Saraswati, the wonder called ECI. So are we sure that this same person with this same face voted 22 times? So I'll let Tushar handle this. Tu bata kya hai? What are the accusations that Rahul Gandhi has made, and what is the response?
So who goes first, Adit or me?
No,
Tu ja
you.
pehle, Tushar.
Yeah, I was sleeping when Rahul Gandhi made the allegations.
No, actually, his own party was also sleeping, so that's okay. Look, Rahul Gandhi has again made the same allegations. It's just convenient rephrasing. He is citing electoral roll discrepancies. He's being very clear कि देखो इस electoral roll में ये गलतियां हैं, किसी का एड्रेस ऐसा है, किसी की फोटो ऐसी है. Now this Brazilian model he cited, it's probably a stock image, and that has been used for around a dozen of electors, not voters, electors. Okay. And he's saying that this Brazilian model or photo of this Brazilian model is being used by fake voters. Of course, the media outlets, not very high on IQ and research, have quoted it as Brazilian model voting in Haryana election. So that's not true. What Rahul Gandhi is essentially saying is कि electoral rolls में गलतियां थी. ठीक है. He also says कि हमें electoral rolls final moment पे मिलता है तो हमारे पास उसे देखने का time नहीं होता. Now, this is where the first lie is, and that has also been sort of fact checked by the Election Commission, State Election Commission in Haryana. Whenever a election happens in India, the first thing we need to understand, एक हमने ये perception गलत बना लिया कि जो electoral rolls होते हैं, वो election के पहले ही आते हैं parties के पास. ऐसा नहीं होता. हर साल ECI एक special summary revision करता है. It starts somewhere in October, November, the cutoff is January, and every year a new set of draft rolls is published. If you go on Google, check for electoral rolls, and you go to a certain state, you'll get the option to in the drop-down menu कि कौन से साल का SSR के हिसाब से चाहिए, and the most updated year comes. So every year, the party has an opportunity to work with the draft rolls. Before assembly elections are even announced, a set of draft rolls comes in. तो पहले तो राहुल गांधी झूठ ये बोल रहा है कि उसको रोल्स मिलते नहीं, उसकी पार्टी को मिलते नहीं. दूसरी चीज, let's say his argument of a Brazilian model photo is taken on face value. Are those electors voters? Point number one. Are those voters voting twice as he claimed? Point number two. Are those voters who are voting once or twice or more are voting for the BJP? We don't know. So put together, there are too many holes in Rahul Gandhi's entire claim that नहीं यहाँ पर वोट चोरी हो रहा है, एंड वो मार्जिन साइड कर रहा है कि इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज में हम कहीं 32 वोट से हारे, कहीं 500 वोट से हारे, तो यहाँ 25 लाख वोट्स का इधर हेर फेर हुआ है. बट अगेन यू कैन कोट रैंडम मैथ, बट यू हैव टू मेक सेंस ऑफ इट. इट्स लाइक मी थ्रोइंग रैंडम नंबर्स ऑन द बोर्ड एंड जस्ट सेइंग ये किसी भी इक्वेशन में डाल दो, कहीं तो फिट आ जाएंगे, राइट? And the problem still remains that if your electoral rolls are a problem, what were your booth level agents doing? Because 3 months before the Haryana assembly elections, you won fair and square in Haryana. BJP was reduced to what, 4 or 5 seats in the state, right? You won fair and square. No one questioned it. Dipinder Hooda has come from there, right? So where is the problem really? तुम कह रहे हो 4 महीने पहले जब तुम लोकसभा में अच्छा जीते, electoral rolls बढ़िया थे, something changed in those 4 months. The same argument as he made in Maharashtra. Number two, and the most ridiculous argument he gave, हरियाणा में exit polls हमें जीतता हुआ दिखा रहे थे. Now this is ironic. No, I'll tell you, this is ironic because for the longest period of time, and since I do a bit of TV, his party has always ridiculed the exit polls. So much that I remember in Lok Sabha 2024 elections, on the day of exit polls, they made a huge hue and cry that we are boycotting these exit polls because they are always rigged in a way to hype the BJP. And after the elections, when the Congress came out with 99 seats, they even accused the BJP of running a market manipulation scam through the exit polls. But today, the exit polls are suddenly kosher because they were showing a Congress win. So if Haryana exit polls are to be taken on face value, let's take the Lok Sabha exit polls also. वहां तो बीजेपी को 400 सीट भी दे रहे थे लोग, ठीक है ना? Number three, and what he doesn't have an explanation for is how far do you go in proving this? He's not willing to go to the court. He's been very clear in that press conference. He's not willing to sign the affidavit. He's not even willing to risk the credibility of his booth level agents. He's throwing them under the bus. कि मेरे बूथ लेवल एजेंट्स क्या कर रहे हैं मुझे नहीं पता। अब एक चीज और है, an average booth has around 1,000 electors, not more than that.
Hmm.
50-100 ऊपर नीचे होगा, उससे ज्यादा या कम नहीं होगा.
Hmm.
The turnout is usually 60%. So all electors are not voters. So
Hmm.
that takes out around 300 of them from 1,700. Now, is Congress accepting that in a state like Haryana, where they actually command a 40% vote share consistently, they don't even have booth level agents present, along with the party, leaders on the ground or units on the ground who can actually go through draft rolls? Ek interesting claim tha where he actually contradicts his entire theory. He said 3.5 lakh voters have been deleted from Haryana before the assembly election, and all of them are Congress voters. All of them are Congress supporters. One, I don't know how he found a way to vet 3.5 lakh voters' political ideology, but let's say he did. Let's take that argument on face value also.
Hmm.
If you are so sure, sitting on top of the Congress pyramid, that they are your voters, your booth level agents would know, your local party units would know, your local party leader would know, the contesting MLA would know. What were they doing when the draft rolls were published? How is that 4 महीने पहले, अगर यार मेरी 4 महीने पहले मेरी पार्टी की 5 सीट्स आ रही हैं 10 में से किसी स्टेट में मेरा कम बैक हो रहा है, I would be double interested in how the electoral roll updation process is
Right.
going. I'll make sure that none of my voters is at least missed out. I will be totally into the game. And they were. In Haryana, they were. But again, Rahul Gandhi, when he made this point, I think that was pretty much clear that he's just beating around the bush, actually just bullshitting like he always does. And again, it will be some hype on Twitter for a day or two, but uh, doing it just a day before Bihar goes to polls and admitting कि मैं ये प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस बिहार के लिए भी करूंगा, वहां भी ये होगा. I don't know if he was throwing himself under the bus, Congress booth level agents under the bus, or the RJD under the bus. Because a couple of days from now, or probably tomorrow itself, the Prime Minister is going to go to some rally, or Amit Shah is going to go some rally and say that RJD का alliance partner खुद दिल्ली में बोल रहे हैं कि हम तो हार मान के बैठ गए हैं कि उनके साथ
Hmm.
जनता का विश्वास नहीं है. And that will be the game. So
So,
Rahul Gandhi being Rahul Gandhi things.
so one point to add, Kushal, and I can't comment much on Rahul Gandhi because I haven't seen the press conference, and Tushar I think did a great job explaining. But on the exit polls, because it's often said, "Ki, why were they so off?" One of the reasons why were they so off is if you see the number of votes polled in BJP and Congress in Haryana, they are within about 1.5 lakh or something like that. When you
Yeah.
have such a close sort of number of votes being polled, that means a lot of people may have changed their mind or made up their mind in the last minute. There were last minute swings. In that situation, the exit polls can get it wrong when it's so close. You should be worried when the election is completely lopsided. The problem in India is people only look at seats, they don't look at vote share.
Yeah.
Exit polls are conducted based on vote shares. If you see the vote share of BJP and Congress, it was very close. The problem with the Congress vote share is obviously it is clustered in pockets, like the pockets of Mr. Bhupinder Hooda and stuff. So they'll have large margins of victory, but they'll have small margins of losses. But guess what? In the first past the post system, if you lose 5 seats by 5,000 and win 1 seat by 25,000, you got the same number of votes, but you lost the thing 5-1. And that is something that I don't think Rahul Gandhi understands very well. And I have no idea what he's doing. So that was my quick point on it.
Now, here's the question. If you think there is a problem, why is not even a single polling booth agent of the Congress raising any objection at the time of the election when it happens? Point number two, why don't they go to courts?
Yeah.
Why don't they? This is a legit question somebody needs to ask. And point number three, why the hell does the Election Commission of India not sue this man for defamation?
अभी बिहार में जब SIR हुआ, and mind you, Rahul Gandhi by making all these baseless allegations is actually strengthening the case for an SIR. And if I were Amit Shah, I'm probably going a step and I'm like, तू सुन भाई, मैं NRC करा देता हूँ. तेरे को डाउट है ना, ब्राजीलियन मॉडल, कोलंबियन मॉडल, कोई भी मॉडल, लेट्स गो फॉर एन NRC. बट हैविंग सेड दैट, अभी बिहार में SIR हुआ, देयर वाज एन एंटायर 1 month window because he brought up Form 6 and Form 7, which is used for the inclusion and deletion of voters in an electoral list. He said that we don't know what happened with Form 6 and Form 7. This dodo, he doesn't realize that the booth level agents on the ground catering to their area are very instrumental in helping people fill those forms, Form 6 and 7. Either if you're including a voter or you're deleting the voter in case someone has a family member who's moved elsewhere or passed away or whatever. And he's saying मुझे नहीं पता फॉर्म 6 एंड 7 के साथ क्या हुआ। बिहार एसआईआर में क्या हुआ था, इन्होंने ईसीआई ने, एक इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया ने एक ड्राफ्ट रोल पब्लिश किया। दिस वाज अराउंड दी, आई थिंक एंड ऑफ अगस्त इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन, और द एंड ऑफ जुलाई। And they said we are have a month, 1 month window. Come tell us if you have any inclusions or deletions to report. कहीं large scale addition हुई है वो भी तुम बताओ, large scale deletion हुई है वो भी बताओ. And Congress had around 17,000 booth level agents in the state because an ECI bulletin used to come every day on X and on their website. And not even once did the Congress report any problem in the SIR. Today he's saying I'll do a press conference after the elections. What for? बात, और सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी इस बात को बोल चुका है कि भाई जब एसआईआर की हेयरिंग हो रही थी तुम्हारे बूथ लेवल एजेंट्स कर क्या रहे हैं, वो तो पार्टी का जॉब है ना। आई एम सेइंग इवन इफ यू वांट टू से दैट द बूथ लेवल ऑफिसर्स आर कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड बिकॉज यू से एवरी इंस्टीट्यूशन इज कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड, यू हैव इवन इंक्लूडेड द आर्मी नाउ, राइट? What are your booth level agents doing? They are signing the form 17 at the end of the polling day. Look, from Maharashtra to Haryana to even Delhi, none of his allegations are making sense, but they're good theatrics. At least that is what his IT cell believes. And when he says all this, he often sort of says something very stupid. जैसे आज बोला कि मोदी सरकार illegitimate है. I call upon the Gen Z peacefully, however, to protest and fight back to claim the democratic framework. If you're going to be so blatant in your calling of Gen Z, people know what you're attempting to do here. कहीं ना कहीं he is his own enemy. Rahul Gandhi's biggest enemy today is not BJP or ECI or Amit Shah or Modi or any regional party. It's Rahul Gandhi himself. And that is why when Kushal and I did a podcast, I think it's been more than a year now. And I had the same theory then, I have the same theory today, I'll have the same theory tomorrow. Let this buffoon talk.
Give a mic.
Give a mic, give him an open mic. Give him 10 mics. Give him all the media, all the attention he wants. Because, he provokes the people to actually do their own research. आज कितने लोग होंगे जो देख रहे होंगे कि अच्छा भाई ये ऐसे बोल रहा है, ऐसा होता है क्या? और एक कॉमन जो डिनोमिनेटर इस पूरी चीज में वो एक वोटर आईडी, एवरीवन वोट्स और everyone has the right to vote. So it's not a process where there are some people who are included and some are excluded or it's alien to anyone. Everyone knows how it works. And RJD will start with a 35% vote share in Bihar, combining the Yadav Muslim vote. So even they know what he's saying doesn't really make sense. And one thing I have to add, he waited for a day before the polling to make this press conference. Are we to conclude, even though Rahul Gandhi has indirectly admitted defeat, that this is pretty much the exit poll that we are looking at? If he is already sort of hyping his vote chori campaign again, and remember, this entire vote chori narrative had disappeared after that vote chori yatra in Bihar. Then he went for a holiday in South America somewhere. Then he comes back. RJD had a majority number of seats. RJD was running its own agenda. And suddenly, out of the blue, it's vote chori again. So, are we to conclude that the results are pretty much clear, and as many exit polls or opinion polls are predicting, it's going to be a 140 sweep for the NDA? I don't know.
See, as far as I'm concerned, my problem with Rahul Gandhi is he loses an election, and if somebody says to court में जा, बोलता है court भी controlled है. अच्छा तो पुलिस में जा तो पुलिस भी controlled है. तू इस institution में जा, वो institution भी controlled है. सब कुछ controlled है. तो फिर तू कर्नाटका इलेक्शन कैसे जीता? फिर तू अभी नेक्स्ट ईयर केरला थोड़ा ना बीजेपी केरला जीतेगी, थोड़ा ना बीजेपी 2-3 और स्टेट जीतने वाली है. नेक्स्ट ईयर इज गोइंग टू बी व्हाट, नेक्स्ट ईयर जो स्टेट्स में इलेक्शन है, तमिलनाडु में इलेक्शन है, कर्नाटका में इलेक्शन है, और भी जहां जहां इलेक्शन है, लाइक बीजेपी इज वेरी क्लियरली गोइंग टू लूज दोस इलेक्शंस.
तुषार कहाँ गया?
तुषार कुछ नहीं, वापस आ जाएगा. Beyond a point, there has to be some level of sanity to all of this, right?
There is a Gujarati proverb we have called "Pani peda pal bandhvi." Basically, you take before the water, you just start taking your precautionary measures again. So I think Rahul Gandhi is just knowing that they'll lose. My point is the amount of time he spent doing research and coming up with all these allegations. If the same amount of time he had spent in Bihar with his ally, their ally would not be thinking that Congress essentially has not fought this election. To be honest, any Bihar watcher would tell you that this was not a one-sided election about 2 or 3 months ago. They had a chance. Mr. Nitish Kumar did not have the hold that he did. At least in my analysis and what I was reading, BJP was performing pretty well, but their ally JDU was not doing well. And BJP had given JDU about 101 seats to fight on. Even last time, Nitish only won 43 out of the 115 that they contested. They had a chance to at least make some inroads, the Congress and the RJD, but the Congress just hasn't showed up to the fight. RJD has done, and there are so many internal coordination, like internal fights within the RJD camp. One brother is fighting another brother, and then there is this Pappu Yadav faction and all sorts of funkiness. So if at all there is a contest, it is probably because of the RJD, but the Congress essentially has thrown in the towel in Bihar.
Yeah.
No, but Congress has thrown in the towel. Matlab, when was Congress holding the towel and trying to fight?
नहीं, but जितना
That
भी
is the
पकड़ा था
question I want to ask.
जितना भी
नहीं,
पकड़ा था फेंक
पकड़
दिया.
वही ना, 60 सीटें तो मिली. मतलब जब ये पूरा वोट चोरी का कैंपेन शुरू हुआ था राहुल गांधी का, he did a very majestic sort of a yatra where Tejaswi was actually reduced to a second fiddle, a supporting character of sorts. And everyone had the same question: is the RJD going to endorse this campaign? Yes or no? And the only way to know it is the number of seats they give the Congress to fight. And even the Congress promoters and analysts and whoever on social media were saying, no, it will be, an equal fight. This will be an alliance fight. Rahul Gandhi's narrative is picking on and all that nonsense. At the end, they did not even get 1/4 of the seats to fight on. Not even 1/4. And RJD would also remember that in 2020, it was the excessive number of Congress seats, even though there was in like 70 odd seats, 70 or 80. They ended up proving to be a liability. Even in those 70, 75 seats, they ended up proving to be a liability. And RJD wasn't going to commit the same mistake again. And RJD has not picked up the vote chori campaign even. Even in the manifesto, it's not anywhere mentioned that we are looking at the ECI, we need a new framework, what all that nonsense. कुछ नहीं. वो अपना अलग एजेंडा चला रहे हैं सोशल जस्टिस का. But Rahul Gandhi is the only one holding the, this campaign together. And it's not a campaign I want to view in isolation anymore. कल ये बिहार में जाके बोल रहे 10% people are controlling the army. He's already attacked the executive when he said OBCs कितने हैं, cabinet secretaries or joint secretaries वाले position में. Legislature ये हर वक्त attack करता है. Religious based reservation इसकी पार्टी वाले बात करते हैं. ECI he attacks. Judiciary he attacks. Media he attacks. Tell me one institution Rahul Gandhi has not questioned the integrity of today. One institution. None. PSUs he attacks. LIC पर जो अटैक होते रहते हैं.
मैंने माइक गलत सुना था.
हाँ,
अभी मेरी आवाज अच्छी है. आवाज को क्या हो गया था?
अच्छा.
The way Rahul Gandhi is going, they are making his allies, the CPI Marxist Leninist CPI ML, look a little saner. The crazy allegations, because usually I would expect CPI ML to make all the insane allegations from the Mahagathbandhan, but turns out Rahul Gandhi is leading that charge also.
अभी क्या होगा ना, कुछ दिन में some days later Rahul Gandhi will fly to New York and meet Mamdani, and again he'll be projected as this global child of the left and the messiah of the liberals and all that nonsense. But at the end of the day, Congress is now actually resembling a communist party, worse than a communist party.
I'll tell you
I won't
though,
be surprised. I won't be surprised if 2029 their manifesto says let's denuclearize India. I won't be surprised.
I don't know if Mamdani will want to be photographed with Rahul Gandhi. he's a lot smarter in the way he ran his campaign than people give. I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but he ran a smart campaign, which I can't say the same about Rahul Gandhi.